Welcome to today's discussion on a crucial topic that affects many developers working with networked applications. Have you ever encountered an issue where your application requires a default proxy to be set in code instead of taking it from the system network proxy? If so, you're not alone. This conundrum can be frustrating and time-consuming to resolve. In this video, we'll delve into the reasons behind this requirement, explore the concepts involved, and provide a clear explanation of the steps needed to address this issue. So, why do some applications require a default proxy to be set in code to understand this? Let's first consider how networked applications communicate with the outside world. When an application sends a request over the internet, it needs to know where to send that request. This is where proxies come into play. A proxy acts as an intermediary between your application and the destination server, allowing for features like caching, security, and traffic management. Now, when an application takes its proxy settings from the system network proxy, it's essentially inheriting those settings from the operating system. However, there are scenarios where this approach doesn't work as expected. For instance, what if your application needs to use a specific proxy for certain requests, while the system proxy is configured differently, or perhaps your application requires authentication with the proxy server, which isn't possible when taking settings from the system. In such cases, setting a default proxy in code becomes necessary. By doing so, you're explicitly defining the proxy settings for your application, ensuring it communicates with the outside world as intended. This approach provides greater control and flexibility, allowing your application to function correctly even in complex network environments. Let's break down the steps involved in setting a default proxy in code. Firstly, you need to identify the specific requirements of your application. What type of proxy do you need to use? Do you require authentication or encryption? Once you have this information, you can start configuring your application accordingly. Next, you'll typically create a proxy object within your code, specifying the necessary details, such as the proxy server address, port number, and any required credentials. Finally, you'll apply this proxy configuration to your application's network requests. This might involve setting environment variables, modifying request headers, or using specialized libraries that support proxy. Throughout these steps, it's essential to keep in mind the particular needs of your application. By carefully considering these requirements and implementing the correct proxy settings, you can ensure reliable communication between your application and external servers. To summarize, we've discussed why some applications require a default proxy to be set in code instead of taking it from the system network proxy. The main points to remember are: applications may need to use specific proxies for certain requests or authenticate with proxy servers. Setting a default proxy in code provides greater control and flexibility. The steps involved include identifying application requirements, creating a proxy object, and applying the proxy configuration to network requests. Setting a default proxy in code is a critical aspect of developing robust networked applications. By understanding the concepts and steps involved, you can ensure your application functions correctly, even in complex environments. We hope this video has helped clarify the importance of setting a default proxy in code. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to ask in the section below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more content on software development and related topics. Thanks for watching.